Hello guys, as I said earlier, I will be discussing about some of the AWS questions. So yeah, I brought you a few questions today, very important in the interview, but these questions are actually very important for experienced engineer, I would say, or design interviews. So yeah, pay some attention to this kind of questions also. Okay, I'm just going through one question here. So the question here is, let's say your company provides a mobile voting applications for a popular TV show, and 5 to 25 million viewers all vote in a 15-second time span. What mechanism can you use to decouple the voting applications from your backend services that tally the votes? Okay, they are talking about 5 to 25 million viewers all vote in a 15-second time span. Okay, 25 million users are going to use it. Okay, so the max number of users here is 25 million users. Okay, and it's again a voting application. That means you cannot just like let go of even one voting, right? So we have to capture every input that is coming from the users. Tallying vote is a different part. Okay, tallying vote can be processed later point of time, or maybe real time. That's okay. So what kind of mechanism that we will be using here for such a system where we don't want to lose any input? Okay, at least we want to make sure that all the votes are gathered. Okay, all the votes are with us to process it. The best solution for this is actually using a queue, and AWS provides an infrastructure called SQS, which is called Simple Queue Service. Okay, so we can use a SQS or any, actually in a traditional, if you are not using AWS, then again still a queue is a very important infrastructure here to decouple this system, okay, from the input system to the processing system. You might be thinking that, okay, I can use a REST based service to post all the request, or put all the request. That's okay, but that's not fault tolerant. Okay, if you are directly using a REST based service without a infrastructure which can preserve your input, which can persist your input, you might run into problems. Okay, so you have to use a reliable queue service. Right here AWS provides this infrastructure which is called SQS, so you can use SQS here. Okay, all the voting inputs can go to SQS queues, and from the SQS queues actually you can run a Lambda, or you can actually run another microservice, or you can consume those queue messages in a different service. So that is up to you. That is not the scope of this particular question, but the main idea here is to tell the mechanism that we'll be using to decouple the system. Okay, I have another question here. Your company provides an online photo sharing service. The development team is looking for ways to deliver image files with the lowest latency to end users, so the website content is delivered with the best possible performance. What service can help speed up distribution of these image files to end users around the world? So here I want to mention another very important service which is called Amazon CloudFront. Okay, so yeah, Amazon CloudFront is a content delivery service provided by AWS again. Okay, it helps the business, it helps the content to be delivered in the best possible performance to the end users around the globe. CloudFront is actually going to sit in front of all the other infrastructure by using a global network of edge location. Actually it helps delivering the data in the most performant way throughout the globe. So today we discussed two questions and we learned a little bit about SQS and also CloudFront, AWS CloudFront. Okay, fine, good. Before I end this session, I would like to share an experience with you. So yeah, it was sometime I think 2 years back around. Okay, I went to an interview and I was asked one question. The question was, how do you read logs from the server? So in the interview environment, you might be in a different state. Okay, you might be thinking, sometimes overthinking, so you never know actually what is the exact answer that the interviewer is expecting expecting from you. So I told, because I know my process, so I can go do a SSH to the system and I can see the logs. Okay, I can read the logs. Then the interviewer said that, okay, what if you are not given access to the production servers? Yeah, what we can do is actually we can write a script which will be reading the logs from the server to a jump host, and from the jump host I can log it into a jump host, okay, because usually jump hosts are meant to access servers. So yeah, I can log into a jump host, and as I know the script where the logs it's dumping to, I can just read it, right? And the interviewer is still not satisfied. This kind of questions are asked sometimes to check the candidate's ability to actually come up with some tool which he mentioned in the resume. Okay, for some time I could not figure it out, like what else I could use if I don't have access, and if I'm not allowed to write write a script, if I'm not allowed to read the logs from the server, then how would I read it? I couldn't just think at that very moment. And then when he asked another question, at that very moment I said, oh yeah, I know, okay, ELK stack. And then he said, yeah, this is what I wanted to hear from you. So he just told me that, okay, yeah, you got it right. I was just checking whether you have used this Kibana tool or not, whether you have used this ELK tool or not. You have just mentioned in this resume, so just checking it. So you see, so these kind of questions are asked mostly in the service-based organization to check whether the candidate really have used some tool or he has just written something in the resume. So make sure that what you write in the resume, at least you know why you are using them. Okay, sometimes the interviewers ask you indirect questions to hear those words from you, what you mention in the resume. Okay, but anyway, why Kibana, why ELK stack? So ELK is a suite of tool which is actually comprises of Elasticsearch, Logstash and Kibana. Most of the companies actually used ELK stack for seeing the server logs, okay, mostly. But there are so many tons of other things that can be done. Using Kibana, you can not only see the server logs, but also you can actually create a lot of analytics information, pull the information from the Elasticsearch and see them in many different ways. And you can also create triggers which can send email on some conditions also. So it's a very highly effective, very highly used tool nowadays for analyzing server data, for analyzing server logs, for SLA. Yeah, Elasticsearch is a key value in-memory database, you can say, but highly scalable. And another product here is Logstash, FileBit. It can read the logs from the servers, from the production server or anywhere you are setting up. Okay, it's a very small service which will be running along with your server, but it will be reading the logs. Okay, and logs has to be written in some particular format, FileBit can use some expression, actually some expression language called Grok expression. So that can actually in real time that can parse the logs, and it can create the key and value for your data and push to the Elasticsearch. Okay, and in the Elasticsearch you can search all those indexes, okay, all the keys, okay, by any keys. It is up to you how do you want to how do you want to parse the logs, and how do you want to put all those information. It is up to you. So you can push all those information, dump all those information to the Elasticsearch. You can extract tons of information from those data using the Kibana. So you can use the ELK stack and also some of the AWS keywords in your resume if you want to add some cloud services as an experience in your resume. So that's all for today, guys, and we'll talk more on AWS questions in my coming sessions. So if it is something that if you want to know from AWS world, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon also, so that you will not miss my questions. Okay, and yeah, see you next time. Till then, bye, take care.